The kryptonite of every artist. Details. We've all been there before. We hyper-focus on the smallest, most minute section of a painting to make sure it's perfect. Then we zoom out to the big picture just for it to get lost and realize it was only like 2 pixels big. I hate to break it to you, bud, but you just wasted your time. But there is a difference between hyper-focusing on the wrong things and adding detail with intention. This takes lessons from character design, composition, color, shape theory, and storytelling, the whole spiel, and I will show you how to break the perfectionist mindset and add detail where it actually matters. So sit down, children, it's time to give you a much needed lecture. As we go through this video, keep 3 things in mind: meaning, suggestion, and focus. These 3 concepts will keep popping out throughout the entire video, and if you don't take away anything else, remember these 3 things. Okay, the key to details that actually help an artwork are they need to mean something. Adding details to an outfit need to add to the character, not distract from it. The desert marauders from Avatar look like desert people. The bandages and wraps, the lack of vision, all of these small details add up to tell you exactly how ominous they are. They don't have a care for hygiene, and from first glance, you can tell exactly the kind of people they are and the kind of intentions they have. Think of it as storytelling through design. Just by simply looking at them, without any words being said, you can almost sense their intentions already. It works in reverse too. Look at Solo Leveling. Almost every character has these detailed, complicated character designs filled with gold, jewelry, glittering patterns, and more. Except the main character. He has simple plain black pants, plain black shoes, a white shirt, and a plain black jacket. No jewelry, and the most unassuming haircut possible. This breaks the trend of everyone being intricately designed and flamboyant. It's like if someone took a picture from a Where's Waldo book and placed a black circle on the page. You can't help but be drawn to the black circle. Despite so many little details, your eyes immediately go to where the circle is. Why? Because it's different. There is also adding details emotionally. Details of characters that, because we know of their backstories, make sense. Now granted, for these type of details in character design, you would have to do a little bit of world building and come up with a little bit of a backstory for the character, because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. But for example, Aang's staff, one of his few remaining relics of a world he belonged to, now extinct. Of course he would carry it everywhere. It would make sense for him to. Guts' sword has stuck with him through thick and thin. It's his 3rd arm at this point, a representation of himself. It has so much emotional value to the story and by extension to us. And it feels like its own character. When he loses it, it feels heavy for us because it's like he lost a part of himself. This concept shows up in many mainstream forms of media. Thorfinn's daggers from Vinland Saga, Atsu's sash of names from Ghost of Yotei, and the list goes on. Now how do we do this ourselves? When designing characters, think about if the details you add check off at least one of these things. The culture the character comes from, the emotional attachment to the character, signs of a characteristic of a character like powers, abilities, profession, and stuff like that. Follow that checklist and you will avoid adding details that don't bring any meaning. Okay, that was kind of a lot, but there's more. Now there is the compositional side of things. Not every artwork has to be an I Spy page. Remember this, too much visual stimulus hurts the brain. If there is everything everywhere all at once, it's like the brain's visual equivalent of getting hit by a 16-wheeler truck. The same way you can walk into a perfume parlor and be overwhelmed by all the overlapping smells and get a migraine, it can happen visually too. So you're actually hurting your art by doing too much. Details aren't everything. They are just that, details, small additions that guide the viewer. They do not make the piece. You only need to suggest the presence of detail. I went in depth on this in my hair video, but for an example, you only need to draw a few strands of hair to suggest the presence of a full head of hair. If you look at Wallop, W-L-O-P, I don't know, whatever, you know who I mean, and zoom in on the jewelry itself, you will notice that it's just a random splash of different adjacent colors, but when you zoom out, it suggests the idea of sparkling jewelry. Remember, whatever information the image lacks, the brain will fulfill the rest of the info on its own. One thing that professionals do to significantly increase their efficiency and speed is understand where to put the bulk of their effort. The jewelry probably took like 3 minutes to do, and I'm positive he spent most of his time in the face, because that's the part of the painting the brain will analyze the most, which is even more reason why perfection in art is, in my opinion, nonsensical, because the viewers won't pick up on the majority of the mistakes you make unless it's really bad. Anyway, don't waste your time trying to make sure you color in the lines or on small imperfections and details that don't matter, because that's just it, it simply doesn't matter. Professionals don't color in the lines all the time. I bet you didn't even see this until I zoomed in. Remember, art is supposed to be fun, enjoyable, and relaxing. Don't stress. Now back to that Wallop example with the face and where he spent most of his time. This leads us into the third point, focus. In a similar vein of thinking that too much detail actually ruins the work, putting detail in the wrong place also ruins the work, because generally details draw attention. The more visual stimulus in one place, the more likely we will be to look at it. So put the most detail in the focus points. Add freckles to the face of a portrait because that's where we're looking. Or add glint to the eye because people naturally look in the eye of other people, whether it's in real life or in a painting. Any other surrounding details should be, or at least point toward, the point of focus. Look at this, extremely detailed, a lot of stuff going on. But as you move your focus from the focal point and into the background, you see that the objects become more abstract and less defined. That's because the artist didn't want to distract from the main focus. If the details distract, then it's wrong. Another important thing to remember is that not all details come in the form of props or objects. Most of the examples I've spoken about thus far are, but details come in the form of artistic techniques too, like when I mentioned the twinkle in the eye or freckles. These are more subtle, but you can pack in much more of these types of details than you can with props because they're not as impactful. As a matter of fact, I recommend you do actually, but these type of details include lighting scenarios, color gradients, textures, brushstroke techniques, and so on and so on. But the same concepts still apply to these type of details as they would to all the other ones I've mentioned so far. Okay, that was a lot of talking, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna end the video here. I hope this opens some new insights about detail in art, and I would appreciate a like if you found this video helpful and entertaining. Why stop there actually, when you can also hit that big juicy subscribe button? Go on, do it. I know you want to. Anyway, I'm gone. Peace.